Welcome back, guys. Here's some pictures of a few jobs Americans don't want. Okay, welcome back. Part 2, why America can't compete. Don't get mad, you just can't. It's not your fault. Or is it? Let's dive into this. Here we go. First step. Wages are too expensive in America. Not really wages, more cost of labor. What it costs to have an employee in America is too expensive. Nobody can afford it. Nobody can afford to buy American because it costs too much to have an American employee. Why? Why? Let's look at that. In the last video we discussed CEO pay. Quick recap on that is the average American CEO is making about $120,000 a year. In China, the average CEO makes about $16,000 a year. So you have 5 or 6 different CEOs for the price of one in America. Remember, the American figure is skewed. We looked at and saw in the chart last time how he gets up to like 400, close to 400 times the average worker. That number is skewed because you have people like Musk and the other billionaires and things like that that are just keeping all the money at the top, and they're just hoarding and greedy, and that's how you become millionaires and billionaires. That's how that happens. But the average American CEO is still 5 or 6 times more expensive than a CEO in China. So we can't compete with that. We cannot compete with someone who's 5 times cheaper. Can't do it. Unless the CEOs in America want to take a pay cut, that's not going to change. But let me tell you another secret. That's not going to happen. Just for fun, let's take a quick little scroll across these awesome manufacturing jobs that Trump's going to bring back to you in America. Let's take a look at some of those right now. Okay, try this one on for size. The American private industry pays for or offers health care to most of their employees. We all know that already. But do you know the cost of that? For a single employee, the average cost is about $7,000 per employee. That is part of your pay compensation, and that goes right down to the cost of American labor and why things are so expensive. For a family health care plan, the average American employer is paying over $17,000 for your health care. That is more money than a lot of people around the world make in a year. Your employer is paying that just for your health care. So how are you supposed to make products, make anything that competes with the rest of the world when a business has those kinds of expenses? That's not really healthcare's fault. That comes back to the American people. That's your fault. You had a chance to fix that. When Obamacare was being discussed and they were looking at universal healthcare, and America said, no, we don't want universal healthcare. We want private blah, 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 blah. Well, you've got your private blah, 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 your private healthcare. You've got that. And you have the bill that came along with it, and that goes to your employer, and that's about $7,000 for an individual employee and $17,000 if you have a family on your employer-sponsored healthcare plan. That goes straight to the cost of labor, and that is one more reason why America cannot compete. America cannot compete with countries that have switched over to universal healthcare, and they have lowered their healthcare costs, and they've taken that healthcare burden off of the employer. America cannot compete with the rest of the world that has done that. You can't compete. It will never happen. Doesn't matter what you do, it will never happen. And you can't look at this and say, but America's healthcare is so good, we have good health coverage. No, you don't. America does not have the best healthcare in the world. They have the most expensive healthcare in the world, and you cannot pretend like Americans are happy about it. You see American CEOs getting gunned down in the streets in New York. You see that happening. You see on social media, you see all the people that are cheering that because you supposedly hate American healthcare so much, but you don't hate it enough to change. Not for your own health, not for the economy, not to make America more productive, not to help America compete with the rest of the world. You don't care that much. Not enough to do anything. Okay, so take a look at this. Here is your 10 best countries with healthcare in the world. You'll notice America does not make the top 10, but we are the most expensive. Well, newsflash, there's no other country on this earth that wants to help pay for America's crappy, overpriced healthcare. They're not buying our products because they're too expensive, and part of that reason is because of our overpriced healthcare. So, that's no other country's fault. That's our own fault. We have to fix that at home. Stop blaming other people's politicians, getting people all worked up and mad at other countries. It's our fault. Okay, so maybe I'm getting a little long-winded. I've been trying to cut these down because I know people don't actually have the attention span to watch an entire video that I make most of the time, but that's okay. TikTok syndrome or something like that. Something. Social media, you can't hold an attention span that long anymore. That's just another casualty of technology or something. I don't know. Anywho, that's another rant, but that's for another day. But what I want to hear from you people who are looking forward to these manufacturing jobs, to sit there doing this all day long, 8 hours a day, 5 days a week for the rest of your life. I want to hear from some of you people who are looking forward to those jobs coming back, those boring out of your mind, mundane sewing machine, making one little widgets, things like that, doing that all day, forever, for your career. I'm interested to hear from the people who are excited that America is going to go back to like the 18 and 1900s and bring back these jobs that are really low skill, high labor, and I don't know, that seems to be what's being promised, is that stuff where you're at a machine just doing the same thing every day. I was doing that in the early 90s in manufacturing in America, and then switched over to running the computerized machining and computerized and automating machining. That was in the late 1990s, something like that, and that's a story for another day. But we were getting rid of American jobs back then, automating everything. But anyways, the jobs, they're low-paid jobs. They still have those people doing all those things. I need to see some of the ones where they have people like in Vietnam and stuff like that, gluing shoes together and stuff. Maybe you can find some stuff on that. But I want to hear from the people who are anxious and looking forward, who actually want these jobs. Just like I would also like to have people comment, the ones that want to go work out in the sun all day, picking the fields, picking beans, picking strawberries, picking plants for America, that take place of the immigrants that were kicking out, throwing out, closing down the borders. Those people coming to do the jobs that the majority of Americans don't want to do, will refuse to do. But I would like to hear if you are one of those people who wants that job, working in a field in the sun all day, picking fruit, picking berries, or if you want one of those jobs sitting at a table for the rest of your life doing that manufacturing. I would love to hear what you have to say. What are your thoughts? That's all for this one. I'm going to do, I think, one more video in this series because there's another aspect of this I want to touch on. Even there are so many different aspects of this. There's no one thing that's contributing to America's lack of manual labor, whatever you want to call that, our demise, our giving up, our losing to the world on manufacturing, whatever you want to call it. It's could cover this in video after video after video, all the little pieces that add everything together. But I will run out of patience way before then. But I will do at least one more video because there's another topic that I would like to cover. So like, share, subscribe, any of those fun things, and I will see you in the next video.